Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named BAND-MAID titled Hate. And if we switch over to here, if I'm honest, part of the reason I'm reviewing this, I recently reviewed a track from BAND-MAID titled Play, and people seem to really enjoy the review, and a lot of people recommended I listen to more of their music. And so I'm doing that today. We're going to be checking out their track Hate, we're going to be listening through it from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. This is the official live video for it, so let's go. I mean, I love this kind of music, to be fair. I like my rock and heavy metal. I mean, it's phenomenal. There's no place to pause, dude. That bass tone. It's so tight. And she just takes the focus from that right back. That was an emotional experience for me, and I think there was something absolutely incredible about that song. I'm gonna take a moment to can kind of get myself together, and we're gonna talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion, my review of this track from an act-named BAND-MAID titled Hate. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think that it's just about the extreme amount of visceral hatred, the disrespect, just the complete loathing that you feel towards someone. Just someone who is not worth your time, not worth your effort. Whatever they did to you, whatever their feelings, they don't give a shit. They just hate you. You're just so sick of their stuff. It could be that the vocalist or the band feels this way towards someone. It could be that it's a comment on how people hate others, you know, just over little things. Or it's just an irresponsible, or like just an irrepressible, or like a completely irrational response to it. But either way, there's a lot more in this tale just from that, but just, yeah. It's visceral. The vocal performance was absolutely stellar. We sung incredibly well. We not only captured the stage, like after that solo section with the guitar and bass parts intertwining or intermingling, the lady brought it back, and she had the crowd and the song and the focus there going into that chorus, and the verse, the vocal melodies and the verse and chorus parts were compelling there, as well as in the bridges and sort of the transitional sections there. We had the range and different ideas there. We also had like some chanting and sort of like together vocals there, and some of the entails of like the choruses and stuff like that, which made it a bit more sort of interesting and exciting, because there's like a different texture there as well there, and a bit more oomph behind it there, unifying in certain messages. But it was also it was like the vocal melody, or something like that, right? The vocal melody, I can't sing the way the lady can, but just there's like an irresistible catchiness to that line there, and just the way it kind of went over all of the crazy stuff happening in the instrumental section as well is absolutely stellar. This would be a 9 out of 10 for me, this track. It's an incredibly strong song. I unconditionally love it to pieces. I think they did an amazing job on it. The vocalist has great vocal technique, capture stage, fantastic presence there, and just smashed it. Feel of it, the vocal fry, the grittiness of it, absolutely everything was there, very authentic, very realistic. The track itself at 5 minutes 03 was absolutely superbly layered and structured there. We not only had verses and choruses to tell a story on, we also had various instrumental breaks there. The drummer had plenty of time to move. The bass guitarist had their own bass solo, and a bass off like between the lead guitarist and the bass player was ridiculous. It was wild. Every musician on stage had their time to shine, whether it was by doing the backing vocals or whether it was just their own parts within the track, which were intricate enough outside of the dedicated solo sections. The transitions were seamless. There were lots of unpredictable movements there. We had a fundamental understanding of music theory and composition, and we excelled far beyond that. And we were able to play really incredibly without overshadowing the vocals or the story being told. It's very rare that you get this kind of balance. If I talk about a few of the instruments I appreciated there, the drums were so tight. Those double kick, snare, cymbal patterns there with the incredible flurry of 16th and 32nd tom fills and stuff like that were absolutely to die for. I cannot fathom it. I am amazed that it was that tight there. It was so good. And there was so much going on within the track there. We knew to pocket occasionally, we knew when to come down a little bit and to kind of step back a little bit. Then we came in and we just rocketed forward. And it was such a catchy drum beat as well. It served to accent some of the notes within the vocal melodies and some of the harmony parts there. And it also worked well with the groove of the bass guitarist, who we'll get into in a moment. They're incredible as well. But the drummer is a machine, dude. So strong. Absolutely slammed it, man. That's the kind of drummer you want in a band. The bass guitarist? Oh boy. It wasn't just the root notes. They explored the scales. They explored damn near the entire fretboard in this track there. They were very comfortable going around the different root notes of the chord that existed. Not just majors and minors, but also some dominant 7th chords, some interesting chromatic parts as well. There were slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs there, and tremolo pick sections, and all sorts of crazy things going on with the bass guitar there. And we did it in the middle of sections where typically you'd have musicians trying to be a bit more conservative with their chord progressions and like their bass lines, and trying to sort of like focus on keeping things relatively supportive. We had so much movement within this track instrumentally legitimately, with the bass alone, that honestly you didn't even need the guitar parts in order for it to be entertaining. But then of course you have the guitar, where like there were two guitarists, if I'm not mistaken, on stage there, and both of them absolutely slammed it. They could both play incredibly well. There's all sorts of fancy kind of like upper, high E string, all sorts of kind of stuff, like ascensions and descensions with the movements of the melodies there. We had some really interesting power chordal and sort of like extended chord progressions there. And when you went to sort of pick stuff and went to sort of like come down and really sort of like go for palm muted bits there, and we had all sorts of alternate stuff. And the actual technique was wild. There were so many different chords. There were so many different finicky little riffs and ideas within this track that just magically intertwine with one another and niched in a way which is absolutely sort of transcendent. And the bass solo, by the way, with the use of like the Hammond's Poloffs moving up the fretboard, and kind of was at the same level of the guitar solos that were happening later on there, which were incredibly intricate, with lots of tapping and slidey parts there. We just built it up over time, and it got more and more incredible there. We didn't just kind of just show what we could do immediately. We kind of teased the listener with more and more, and I just love the chemistry between the lead guitarist and the bassist there, or the guitarist and the bassist there, going between one another there. The chemistry on stage between the musicians was absolutely just wonderful. It was a live show, and they made it fun, and they looked like they were having an exciting time. Not only could they play, they were trying to do more than that. And just like the scale choices there, and the voicings alternate to the lead, the vocals, because we had bass and guitar leads there. We knew where to put it in the frequency spectrum, and there's just we knew to come down and to kind of gel together for those chorus parts as well. Whilst also, yeah, it was just a sensational amount of range there. The instrumental performance and the rhythm guitarist, I'm feeling hesitant about saying one was it, because they could both play incredibly well. It gets to a point where the rhythm is the lead and everyone's just playing complicated riffs, but they magically able to make it work. It's wonderful. It still sounded cohesive. You could follow along to the chord progressions and everything like following along. There was clear direction. Phenomenal performance, not a note out of place. The overall theme sounded like they were furious and they were just absolutely just done with this person. There was a bit of coloration and sort of like edge to it, almost like there was a bit of danger involved. There was some of those progressions there. But ultimately, it was like their guitar and bass were having like a kind of an argument or something like that, and then inevitably the guitar was the one that kind of rose up and overcame it and just was done there, going back into that chorus there. Yeah, it's a complicated track, but you get the feeling from it, just the intensity of performance alone. They really just wanted this person done there, but there was just so much more to appreciate. The studio recording, mixing and mastering is absolutely tremendous as well for live performance. The vocals, guitars, bass and drums were wonderfully leveled and mixed and panned nicely on the stereo field. Things were nicely niched in the frequency spectrum, no resonant frequencies there. And, there was dynamic range. Those things weren't the same loudness all the time, but it was still a tight mix, nice and loud, without pumping. And effectively, this is my review of this track from an act named BAND-MAID titled Hate. And hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and their YouTube page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.